Today, we embark on a thrilling quest through the rich history of alcohol, a delightful elixir enjoyed by people all over the world for countless millennia. Our journey begins in ancient China, where evidence in pottery jars dating back to 7000 to 6600 before Christ reveals that people were already brewing alcohol in the form of fermented grains and fruits. But our tale truly takes flight in the 9th century with the brilliant mind of Abu Bakr, Mohammed ibn Zakaria al-Razi, also known as Razi, who made remarkable contributions to the understanding of alcohol and its properties. Razi was born in the year 865 in the ancient city of Ray, near Tehran, Iran. Razi's journey took an unexpected turn. At first, he was all about the music, but his curiosity and fascination with alchemy ignited a fire in him, propelling him to make some groundbreaking contributions to the field. Al-Razi rocked the world of chemistry with his mind-blowing discoveries about alcohol and sulfuric acid. I mean, come on, that's some serious wizardry right there. But he didn't stop there. He went even further, classifying all sorts of substances into 3 distinct groups: plants, organic, and inorganic. You can't help but give the guy props for pushing the boundaries of knowledge in his time. But hey, let's shift gears and talk about something that's been part of human culture for ages: alcohol. Alcohol, also known as ethanol, has been brewed by people across different cultures for millennia. From fermenting grains to fruit juice and honey, it's like a tasty science experiment that's been going on forever. And man, alcohol's role in history is nothing short of wild. It's been used as currency, a potent medicine, and a social lubricant, bringing people together to have a grand old time. But hold on, things get spicy when we bring religion into the mix. Some faiths preach abstinence, while others get their party on and include alcohol in their religious rituals and ceremonies. Traveling further back in time, we reach the Mesopotamian civilization between 3000 and 2000 before Christ. The Sumerians, who inhabited this historical region of Western Asia, were pioneers in beer making. Researchers have discovered over 20 different beer recipes meticulously recorded on clay tablets from that era. The Sumerians held beer in high regard, evidenced by its use in religious and ceremonial contexts as offerings to their gods. It's intriguing to note that they even had strict rules and regulations concerning the use of alcohol. In the epic tale of Gilgamesh, the consumption of 7 cups of beer transforms one of the central characters, highlighting the significance of beer in shaping Sumerian culture and society. Indeed, beer making and drinking have woven themselves into the fabric of human existence, leaving an indelible mark on our history. The Sumerians' early developments in brewing technology and establishing rules and regulations are a testament to the enduring legacy of alcohol in our lives. So let us raise a glass to the timeless tradition of alcohol, a companion to human celebrations, rituals, and discoveries throughout the ages. Let us not forget the ancient Egyptians, who considered beer a sacred drink introduced by the gods. Beer was a staple in their daily diet, and its medicinal benefits were well known, with ancient texts listing it as a cure for various ailments. Beer was also used as a form of labor compensation, particularly in Giza. Workers were given 3 rations of beer per day as part of their wages. Additionally, beer was used during festivals and celebrations, such as the Tek Festival, which was known as the Festival of Drunkenness. Now, let's set sail to ancient Greece, where it was one of the earliest known centers of wine production, with winemakers establishing vineyards as early as 2000 before Christ. Alcohol played an important role in early Greek religious culture, and it was often used as an offering to the gods and as currency throughout the Mediterranean region. Wine was so important that it had its own god in Greek society, Dionysus, who was considered the god of fertility and of ritual madness and ecstasy, and represented the medium between the living and dead. Like the Egyptians, the Greeks used alcohol as a medicine. Greek texts frequently reference wine consumption for a variety of medical ailments, such as lethargy, diarrhea, childbirth pains, and keeping wounds clean and sterile. During this time, the Greeks often gathered around for symposiums, which were a place for elite men to drink together, share conversation, tell stories and jokes, and have lively debates. The symposiarch determined the wine strength for each event. Famous Greek literature, such as Plato's Symposium and Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, highlighted the ancient relationships between alcohol and celebration and Greek culture. The Romans adopted wine production from the Greeks, becoming an important part of Roman culture and society. The Greek poet Euripides wrote the play Bacchae, depicting how the followers of the god Bacchus drank to excess and committed murder while under the influence. This portrayal of excessive drinking led the Roman Senate to outlaw the performance of Bacchic rites in Italy in 186 before Christ, as they believed these followers could threaten public safety. The Roman Empire also restricted grapevine growth and production to increase local demand for Roman wine. Within the first 2 centuries before Christ, the Romans exported wines, often to be used as currency for slave labor. However, after the anti-Bacchic purge, the Roman perspective on drinking changed, and wine became a standard ration for military personnel. Alcohol production quickly became standardized, and the Romans created model vineyards and developed bulk wine. Roman writers praised wine and even condemned drinking water. The legendary story of Bacchus became one of their own, with a character portrayed as a mythical but competent creature with a comical sidekick. Alright folks, let's hop on a ship to China and see alcohol history in there. China had a thing for natural alcohol, and I'm not talking about your fancy distilleries and chemical concoctions. We're talking about the good all-natural fermentation of fruits and flowers. That's right, they knew how to brew some ancient boozy magic. And you know what? China was ahead of the game when it came to distilling spirits with yeast-fermented bases. They were pioneers in the art of crafting that liquid gold we all love so much. No wonder they held alcohol in such high regard. It was practically sacred. From family meals to weddings and New Year celebrations, alcohol was there, front and center, adding that extra bit of oomph to their festivities. And boy, did they know how to party. Picture this, people sipping on their favorite brew, surrounded by music, dancing, and some good old book reading. That's right, they enjoyed their drinks with a side of culture. But hold on, there's more. The Chinese folks believed that alcohol wasn't just for merrymaking. It was practically medicine. They thought it could cure you, prevent illnesses, and even slow down the march of time. Alcohol is the best of all medicines, they said, and they had the historical texts to back it up. Need to get rid of a pesky headache? Grab a drink? Fighting off a cold? Alcohol to the rescue. Want to boost that immune system and keep those bowel problems at bay? You guessed it, alcohol was their go-to solution. Crossing the seas, we arrive in Britain, where the history of alcohol saw both excessive consumption and attempts at regulation through taxation and legislation. Back in the day, from 1525 to 1550, drunkenness was running wild in England. Playwright Thomas Natch spilled the beans on the pervasive drinking culture, and for the first time, they started calling drunkenness a crime. Fast forward to the 1600s, writers were talking about how everyone and their grandma were getting sloshed. Alcohol was practically part of every aspect of life. But then, in 1643, the English Parliament had enough and passed the Act to repress the odious and loathsome sin of drunkenness. It aimed to put a leash on the excessive drinking frenzy. But hey, don't think it stopped there. Britain got into the taxing game in 1640, slapped a tax on those distilled spirits. Meanwhile, over in South America during the Inca days, indigenous folks were experimenting with their own alcohol recipes. Maize was the secret ingredient, making a drink they called chicha. When the English settlers arrived in America, they had a bone to pick with water, thought it was contaminated and unsafe. So they turned to alcohol instead, especially beer brewed with malted barley from England. By the 1630s, they were already home brewing like champs. Fast forward again to the American Revolution, the Founding Fathers had a thing for alcohol. Cider, beer, and rum were their drinks of choice, and they'd sip them all day long. But hold your horses, the whiskey tax of 1791 caused the ruckus. Those distillery employees in Pennsylvania weren't having it. They protested and refused to pay. It led to the Whiskey Rebellion. But good old President Thomas Jefferson came to the rescue in 1802 and repealed the tax. Now, let's talk about the Civil War. Alcohol was doing double duty as medicine and sleep aid. Chaplains even used it in their work, but alas, there was abuse. and many soldiers did reckless and dangerous things while under the influence. Then came the temperance movement, a bunch of folks trying to curb excessive drinking. It had both religious and social goals, but not everyone was on board. But wait, there's more. Prohibition took center stage in the late 1800s. They banned the manufacturing and selling of alcohol, but people found ways around it, sneaking into speakeasies and getting help from organized crime. Finally, in 1933, they decided to end prohibition. Education and treatment for alcohol addiction came next. Alcoholics Anonymous was born in 1939, and disulfiram antabuse stepped in as a drinking deterrent. The American Medical Association recognized alcohol addiction as a legit concern and began treating it with counseling and education. From boisterous Britain to America's rocky relationship with booze, alcohol has certainly played a significant role in shaping history. So raise your glasses and let's toast to the twists and turns of this captivating tale. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to hit the like button below and share this fruitful history with your alcohol lover friends.